In this video, we are going to make a portable soil moisture meter. And this meter is going to allow us to measure the moisture content of soil all over the place because it's portable. It uses the capacitive soil moisture sensor here, which is connected to the JackBord, and then the indication is provided by the JackBord Light Stick. It has 10 LEDs on it, so if the soil is very dry like now, just one is illuminated. And then if I put my hand on there, see the LEDs light up. So if they get all the way to the top, which means 10 LEDs, that means that the soil is at maximum saturation. And the great thing about this is that it's fully portable. So once you set up the program, you can have it so that when you turn the JackBord on, it will automatically run the program and it becomes a portable soil moisture meter. So let's get into it. You can find the code and some more information to help you along with this project by visiting jb.works and enter the TMT code shown below at the search prompt and press enter. This will take you to the project page for this activity. For this project, you're going to need your JackBord, one female to female about 15 centimeter long jumper wire, and then 5 short female to female jumper wires, 2 M4 bolts, 2 M4 nuts, some kind of spanner, 1 JackBord light stick, the 10 LED one, and finally the soil moisture sensor. And don't worry if you don't have exactly the right colored jumper wires. You can use any colors you like. Okay, right, first thing we're going to do is, as usual, bolt everything on. So we're going to bolt the moisture sensor onto the front by port B using one of the M4 nuts and bolts. Here we go. And it doesn't need to be in terribly tight, okay? So what we'll do after that is we'll do the wire for this guy. So he needs 3 volts, a ground, and an analog pin, an analog wire. So we'll use the ground first. And we're going to connect it to port B so the ground can go to the ground pin on port B. Then the 3 volts. So we'll take a yellow wire. Again, it's a good idea to use a yellow wire for 3 volts because then you get used to seeing yellow and it means 3 volts. But if you haven't got one, that's fine. Just make sure you get the connection to the right place. And then finally, the analog output from the sensor goes into port pin B1. That was B2, there's B1 there, okay? So that takes care of our soil moisture sensor. So the next thing we're going to do is light stick. So usual deal, we'll bolt him on first. And with the light stick, you need to make sure that you have the data in end closest to the JackBord. The other end is labeled data out. So we're going to bolt that on here. There we go. So this person needs red 5 volts, ground is green, and then white is for the data. So we'll start with the ground first, and we'll just use the power on ground on port C. So that's the ground line connected. Then we're going to connect the 5 volts. That will come over here. And lastly, we need the data line. So this is the line that's going to control the LEDs. And that goes all the way over to port E1, which is in the lower corner right over here. So just to summarize, we have the soil moisture sensor here. That's connecting to 3 volts, ground, and the white line is the analog output, which goes into port pin B1. Then over here we have the JackBord light stick. The data in end is down this side. Red is 5 volts going into the port C 5 volt pin. Ground goes into the port C ground pin. And finally the data input for this guy goes into port pin E1 on the JackBord. There we go. Check your connections against these pictures. The one on the left shows the view from the front, and the one on the right shows the view from behind. And this view shows a direct front view on the left-hand side, and the right-hand side shows where you connect the data line from the JackBord Light Stick. Okay, once you have checked all your connections, turn on the JackBord. Right, now we've got the meter built, it's time to put the program code in and get it working. The easiest way to get the program code is to go to jb.works and at the search prompt, enter the TMT code showed on your screen. The easiest way to get the code is to go to the JackBord Works website at jb.works. Once there, paste the TMT code we got before into the search prompt and click the search lens. You'll be taken straight to the program code for the soil moisture meter. Select all of the code, copy it, then go to the prog page. We need to delete the existing code here, and then we're going to paste in our new code and click Save to save it. Now that we've got the program in, we can look at how it works. So I'm going to click on the Start button, which is the rocket. So basically right now it's just connecting readings, and because there's no soil, it's reading dry, very dry. So first of all, we have our dry value, which we got in the previous video, so at 75, and our wet value is 92. Again, same as before, the soil moisture variable. Now where things get different is here. Now first of all, this is the LED number. So if you look at the LEDs over here, we've got 10 on this light stick. So those LEDs are going to be used to display the values of soil moisture. So this variable here refers to which LED we're going to use. The LED number refers to the number of the LED on the light stick from 1 to 10. The LED reading is the LED that needs to be lit to show the current reading of soil moisture. So if I put my hand on here and the soil is about 58, so if we make that between 0 and 10, we need about the fifth one lit up. So here we've got the 6 ones because it's 58. So if I let it down a bit, it's going to be hard. But okay, so 58, you round it up to 60, so you've got 6 LEDs lit. And then finally the color determines the color of the LED, which in our case is green. So then we come to the main program loop and we display the title, which we did before, wet and dry values, get the value from the soil. So the next part is this command tells the JackBord how many LEDs are in the light stick. And then finally this one just turns them off. Now we're in the main program loop, and again the same as before. We take the reading, we scale it so that we get the soil moisture value between 0 and 100%, and that's what you see on the right hand side in the program. And then we display it. So what we're doing down here though, and this is for the LEDs, is we're scaling this value from 0 to 100 to between about 1 and 10, and that's the one that will be used to select which LED we're going to display. And we do that here. So this is the piece of code that determines how the LEDs display. And if you look at the light stick, see the LEDs are all lit right up to 4. So we're sitting at 41 and the 4th LED is lit. So this is the piece of code that makes sure that the first 4 LEDs are lit up. And what we're doing is we're looking at the LED number, which is going to be from 1 to 10. And if it's below the LED reading, we want it to be green. And that's what's happening here. So these are below the reading, so they're all green. And if it's above the reading, we want it to be off or dark. So 0 is black. So all these ones here are 0, or basically black or off. And then these ones are green. And so we've set the color variable and the LED variable. And so this command here, SLED, is the one that actually commands the LED to change color. So that's the number of the LED that we're going to do, and this is the color we're going to make it. And then we simply increment the value of the LED number. So it starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until 10. And we loop to the top and do the whole thing again. So by the time we're done, we've looped through all of the LEDs. And then finally, we increment the count, which is just this number on the side. So that's basically how the program works. Up to now, when we want to run the program, we have to click on the rocket. But of course, ideally, we want this soil moisture meter to be something that we can take out in the field and just turn on and not need a PC to run the program. And we can do this by setting the boot program. Now, if you look over here, we're on program number 9. So what I'm going to do is bring up the command prompt, and at the command prompt, we type set boot 9 and press enter. So now the JackBord replies back and says program number 9 will run at next boot. So what this means is that if we now turn the JackBord off and then turn it back on again, our program will run automatically without the need for us to be online with a PC. To stop the program from automatically running when you turn on the JackBord, type in the set boot command but with 0. So for example, we would type set boot space 0 and press enter. And this will stop the JackBord from running any program when it's next turned on. This is the portable soil moisture meter out in the field at school. And in the previous video we were explaining how it starts up automatically. So if I just turn it on, this JackBord has no internet access here, so it can't connect to the internet. So it's going to start up basically just as a standalone unit. And so what will happen is once it gets going, there. So we know it's ready because the first LED's on. And if I hold the sensor, you can see the readings going up. And likewise, if I insert this probe into some wet soil, you see the readings increasing. So it's at 3. And then if I add some water, you see the readings go up. And I'm being careful not to get the electronics part on the end. So you want to keep this bit here dry. And you can see that the readings have shot up. So now we're at 9 bars instead of just 2 or 3. And then if I remove it, it goes back down to 1. For more information, visit www.jackbord.works.